What's up, YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back with a new video. Over the last couple of weeks, I've posted a couple of videos on some mail calls from silver I've purchased on Facebook, and I've had a few of you reach out and ask, what groups am I shopping in? How am I going about getting these deals? And you guys want to know more about shopping for silver or buying silver on Facebook groups. So I've put this presentation together simply because I didn't want to do screen grabs and walk real time through Facebook because it's just too much personal information out there. So I'm just trying to protect people, other people and myself, quite frankly. So apologies if you don't like the presentation format, but this was just the easiest way to do it. So let's just jump right into this. So my favorite forum on Facebook is this junk silver only forum. I've been kind of buying a lot of constitutional silver of late, a lot of half dollars, dimes, and quarters. This is just truly one of my favorite places to look. It's because I'm a member there now. It shows up in my feed every time somebody posts something. But it's nice because I'm also seeing what active deals and prices are going on. The other cool part about it is there's a lot of new people out there getting into silver, and they have a lot of questions, and I like contributing to the community. You won't find my Georgia Silver Hunter account in there. I've just recently created that on Facebook, and I haven't joined this group, so my personal account is out there. So I've got a lot of stuff blurred out, so you just can't see it. My second favorite group that I've found is the silver gold collecting, investing, stacking, bullion bars, coins, silver bugs. That's a mouthful. There's a lot of conversation about silver and stacking out there, but there's also a lot of sales. I haven't bought anything on this forum. I've done a lot of looking, and that's mainly because on here you are finding things like bars and rounds and silver eagles and things that carry a higher premium, and the people selling on here expect to get a little bit higher premium. And right now I'm very much trying to stay as close to spot as possible. That said, it's still a great forum, so I wanted to shout it out, and this is another one I look at daily. So how do you find these forums on Facebook? So, load up Facebook, go up into the little search bar, type in silver, select groups down here where you see I have it highlighted, and when you do that, these will bubble up to the surface. Now, every single one of these groups more or less is private, so you have to be admitted by an administrator. When you go to join, so here I did an example of a join group, so the silver and gold bullion and bars, this is one I'm not a member of yet. But when you click on join group, you'll get, it'll submit a request to add you to the group, but there's also like a little survey you have to take, and they want to make sure that you're not a bot and that you understand the forum rules. So make sure you answer all these questions, because if you don't, they will not admit you into the forums like 9 times out of 10. So you'll see here, once you've answered all the questions, you can hit submit. I've done these screen grabs from my PC or from my Mac. It's just as easy to do it on your mobile app. So when you get into these forums and you're looking to buy, you're going to see a lot of language. And this is one of the things I see the most from new people to the forums, is there's lots of terminology out there that you may not be familiar with. So I wanted to go through them very quickly. So when you see BIN, B-I-N in capital letters, that stands for buy it now. So that's like an eBay auction, right? It's a buy it now. There's no bidding. That said, when people do buy it now, there's nothing stopping you from giving them a lower offer in the comments, but a lot of times people do stick to their buy it now prices. You'll see DND, or deal or no deal, and that's where people will post silver. They will not put a price on it, and they expect you to make an offer, and they can say deal or no deal. You'll see regular auctions. You'll see something called waffle, which is an interesting type of raffle. I've got some screen grabs of these so we can walk through them in a minute. You'll also see LTS and LTB. That stands for looking to sell or looking to buy. I've even seen LTT, which stands for looking to trade. I see those less, but you do see them. The last thing you'll see is down, usually at the bottom of the post, you'll see PPFF, GNS, that sort of thing, plus 3%. And what that stands for is that one of the payment methods that's accepted is PayPal Friends and Family. That's PPFF. When you see the GNS or the GS plus 3% next to it, when you go to checkout or when you go to send money with PayPal, You can choose to do friends and family, which is I trust this person, or you can choose to do a goods and services. And when you do that, PayPal charges an extra 3%. With goods and services, you supposedly have some sort of buyer protection. I've never tried it. I've not done a lot of reading on it. I don't really know how well you'll really be protected using that goods and services option. But I wanted to add it in there just so you would know that you can choose an option that comes with some level of buyer protection, assuming you can get PayPal to honor it. So I want to jump in real quick. If you do join and you decide to sell, I wanted to give you what most of the forums call out as their rules. So only take forms of payment you're comfortable with: Venmo, PayPal, friends and family, or goods and services, Zelle, etc. It's really up to you. I've seen Cash App, I've seen Google payments, I've seen Messenger payments, I've seen tons of different types of payments, but it's up to you. No one's making you use a certain type of payment method. And if you have a buyer asking you to use a type of payment method you're not comfortable with, don't make the sale. It's really easy. When you do create a post, make sure you put very clear rules in your post. And most of the forums, your images have to have a proof of ownership, which is usually a little sheet of paper you want to include with your image that has your name and the date of your post, so that they know that this is actually your silver, because they can match it up to your little Facebook name. Have references ready. So if you're brand new, you're not going to have any references. I actually made my first sale the other day. I sold a roll of 40% silver half dollars. I was up front, said I don't have references, but I'm trustworthy. I gave people access to my eBay so they could see my previous eBay auctions. But start small. Don't go out there and try to sell gold on your first sale, because you're going to have a lot of people that aren't going to feel real comfortable doing it. So start with something little. And then the last thing in general is just follow the forum rules. So I wanted to go through that because I think the more interesting piece is really the buyer piece, and I wanted to spend more time on it. But I wanted to go through this because I think it is important. Some of you may be joining to go on and sell your silver. Oh, I left one off. Always ship insured and tracked if you can. Some people include it in their offers. Some people say it's extra and it will be quoted, with the buy it now or the deal or no deal, or whatever the post is. So I wanted to show you guys some examples of posts that I see with some of the terminology I see and some really good seller best practices in there. And these are the things that as a buyer you want to be looking for. So here's a buy it now. This is really straightforward. You'll see there's a BIN at the top. He's selling Roosevelt dimes. He's selling it at 19.5 times face, which is what most of these forums want you to put when you're selling constitutional, because then it's really easy to do the calculation. So this was today, or maybe late last night sometime. You can see this person wants 19.5 times face. Spot today, at the time of me recording this, which it's September 11th at almost 10 o'clock at night, silver closed today at 19.36 times face. So when you get into the premium piece of buying silver on Facebook, you can get very, very close to spot. And this was just an example that I pulled. There's plenty of people selling at spot, and occasionally you'll even find slightly under spot. As a good post, he's showing a huge stack of dimes, and he's telling you how many he has. He has 25 FV, or face value, which would be 250 dimes. He's shipping and handling tracked. For if you sell by $5 face value, it's $2, $10 to $15 face value, he's charging $4. $20 to $25 face value, he's charging $5. And if you want insurance, you're going to pay extra for it. And then, like I said, he closes with his PayPal, or his payment methods: PayPal, friends and family, goods and services plus 3%, or he takes Zelle. He's probably not going to take Venmo or Cash App or any of those other types of payments. He has a good post because he's got a picture of what he's selling with a card. I've mosaicked out his name, but I can confirm for you it matched his Facebook account and the day's date. So this was actually posted yesterday on the 10th. So moving on, here's a deal or no deal example from Facebook. I'm not going to be as verbose about all these, but again, this is a good example. Pictures, he's got proof of ownership, he's telling you it's a deal or no deal auction, it's 11 circulated Morgans. You can see the pictures you get when you click on them. They're actually high-res pictures. And this is one where you can go in there. If you want to offer this guy $11 plus $5 for shipping and handling, you can put that in the comments. He's going to laugh at you, but that's how a deal or no deal works. So when you get into the comments on these, you'll see somebody will come in and offer 20 per Morgan. So they'll offer $220 plus shipping. If the guy's only looking for 20 per coin, he may take that, right? You just never know. So it doesn't hurt you to make an offer. You never know what someone's going to accept. If you lowball people, you can expect, though, to get a little bit of a flame. So be careful on that. I would never go in here, honestly, and offer $11 for 11 circulated Morgans. Let's move on to the next example. So here's a looking to buy. Now this is a guy that there's 43 comments, and I didn't look through them all, but there's probably 20 of them making fun of this guy. I know this because I've done this before. I put on there that said I was looking to buy Morgans and peace dollars. I ended up, I think, making a deal, and I got, I don't know, 6 or 7 of them. But I originally said for like $20 to $21, and I got laughed at pretty badly. It was also in the silver stacking forum, where people expect to make a little bit more premium. When you find this in the junk silver forum, usually people are looking for less premium. So, you know, he may have had a few buyers in here. May have had a few offers down in the comments. I didn't show them. If you join the forums, you can look for something like this, and you know the comments are public. So, but this is how people, you know, if you're looking for something specific, I've seen people trying to fill books, right? So they're like, hey, I'm looking to buy silver quarters. I need a 1943p. I need a 1956d. You know, whatever. And people will come in and say, I have one. I'll sell it to you. So this is another good way to use this forum. We have a 24-hour auction. So these can be really tricky. This is another example of a really good post, right? He's got all of his rules spelled out in the post. It's a 24-hour auction, and it ends, this is the tricky part, 24 hours after the last bid. So this auction could go on for days and days and days. If there's a bid every 23 hours and 30 minutes, literally could go on for days. So be careful when you look at these. You can get, you know, some great deals, but you may also wait and think you're going to be the last bidder, and you bid with 23 hours and 58 minutes into it. When you place your bid, it restarts the clock. So just pay attention to the auctions. I've bid on a couple of auctions. There's one I could have won, but I decided to stop bidding, and the guy who bid $1 more than me ended up taking the whole thing. So these are fun to watch, but I don't get involved in too many of them. And the last one I wanted to show is this waffle thing that I mentioned earlier. So it is a type of raffle. This is how they work. It's the person that posts it. Usually they're done by the admins of the forums, but they post some amount of silver. And in this particular example, it's 15, you know, 999's fine, silver buffalo rounds, right? You can see all the rules over here on the left. There are 40 spots. So this is a raffle. You are spending $15 to buy a number between 1 and 40. And they use a random number generator, which they video and they put in the comments at the end. It's all very, very much on the up and up. I've seen people win. I've seen people post pictures of their winnings getting delivered. So these are always on the up and up, especially when they're done by the admins. But let's say you spent $15 in the comments and said, you know, I want to buy, you know, number 9. And once all the spots get filled, they run their random number generator, and if number 9 gets picked, you just won 15 ounces of silver for $15. So this is kind of a neat thing to do. You can go broke doing these too, but it's a neat raffle. It's a neat idea, and they usually happen on Fridays and Saturday nights. You don't see them too much during the week. But if you're looking for some cheap silver, it might be an interesting thing for you to try. Anyway, let's move on. I want to talk about if you're the buyer, right? So this is probably the meat of why you guys came and looked at the video. This is sort of my advice. I've bought my now 2 or 3 different auctions. I'm by no means an expert, but I've been following the forums long enough to see some good and bad practices. So always research the seller. Now, in a lot of these things, especially when they're really good deals, you're not going to have a whole lot of time to research the seller, but you're going to see a lot of names pop up regularly. I don't want to name names in the video, but if you join these forums, you'll see there's certain people there. They're constantly buying and selling silver. I don't know how they're getting it. Maybe they own coin shops. Maybe they're buying on one forum and selling on another. I don't know. but you'll get to know names that are pretty common. And then there'll be people you don't know. So you can always drill in. You can always look at them, see how old their account is. But do your due diligence before you make an offer on a seller. Okay? Do your business out in the open. So if you are getting private messages from somebody trying to sell you something, or if you're interested in buying something and you go to private message and then you end up getting scammed, that whole transaction is now not public record somewhere, right? It's not, and I say public record, but not in this private forum where there's lots of eyes on it, okay? So do your business out in the open. If somebody scams you, you can go back to this post and go, no, this is where I said I was going to buy something. We agreed on a price. I told him it was paid, and I never received the product, right? And then these people can quickly get banned from the forums. Unfortunately, you may be out of money and you may have learned a tough lesson, but at least you stop that guy or girl from scamming the next person. Ensure posting as proof of ownership. I've talked about this already. If there's a picture of stuff on there and there's not a little title card or name card with a date on it, just give it a pass. Keep moving. Or ask the person in the comments, can you post proof of ownership? This kind of ties back to number one about researching the seller. If you are going to act quickly and you don't recognize the seller, put conditions in your buy it now or your deal or no deal response, like, hey, I'll buy it now, but pending a good reference, right? And that way you sort of get your name in the queue. So if you were the first one, they may accept it, but you can say, look, I'm not giving you money until I get 2 or 3 people I can reach out to through Facebook, or until you can get somebody to come to this forum and vouch for you. And you'd be surprised. When people know that references are necessary in a lot of cases, and people will speak up for others that have had good experiences really quickly. So I can't put enough emphasis on get references. And then the last thing is, don't be afraid to ask questions in a post or through private message. You don't try to make your deal through private message, but don't be afraid to ask questions. Can you give me better pictures? Can you tell me where you got these things? Can you tell me the condition? Whatever it is you want to know before you're comfortable making an offer, ask the question, because once you've said I'm going to buy this, if you don't and you do it a couple of times, they'll ban you from the forums pretty quickly. Because you're wasting the seller's time, you're wasting the forum's time. So when you commit to buying, you should go through with the sale, right? And so before you do buy, make sure you ask questions or put those stimulations on your offer so that it gives you time to ask the right questions. So I hope that was helpful. So I'm going to put up here a typical transaction. Again, I've blurred out all the names. But you'll see here where we've got about 3/4 of the way down where somebody says, look, I'll take one of the 3. Well, you've got to read down the thing, but they're basically buying proof state quarters, right? And at some point they said, look, I'll take one of the 3 rolls. So once you've made your commitment, or maybe this one down here where you're saying, hey, I'm going to buy it now, the War Nickels and the 40% Kennedys. Once you've done those, it's okay to take the conversation over to a private message to say, hey, we agreed on it. Is it going to be $230 plus $5 shipping? I just want to make sure I have the numbers right. Or can you give me your Venmo? Or whatever personal details you need in the transaction, take that over to a private message. But you can see this is a deal that's being done out in the open, so everyone knows what's being discussed, right? You can even see at the top, what conditions are the War Nickels? So this is somebody who's looking for decent condition silver before they make an offer, right? So anyway, do your homework. Don't go on here without knowing the day's spot price, right? Don't go on there not knowing that a barber quarter, melt price is $4.87, or mercury dimes are going for $1.94 a piece. That's how you can do your calculation for what the face value multiplier should be, right? Do your homework. Know what you're going to buy. Because if face value is 19x and you take an offer for 22x, you just paid unnecessary premium. So unless it was something you really wanted, try to stick closer to melt when you're on these forums. As usual, always do your homework, on your bars, your government issued coins, your rounds. Find bullion prices is another resource I've talked about in the past to get the best deals of the day really on silver and gold coinage. These guys are always pushing online bullion dealers, So you are going to pay much, much larger premiums there. But again, you can at least do your homework and know I can go through an SD bullion or an AppMex and get this gold coin, or I'm sorry, this silver coin for $32, and over on the forum I can get it for 30. Is the $2 savings worth doing something through a private sale? For me, probably not. But if it's a difference between me getting it on a private sale for 20 versus 32 at AppMex, you better believe I'm going to chase the $20 silver, right? That's just an example, not a real world, of course. And lastly, I just wanted to include this because I've talked so much about references. This is how you can, can I get a reference check on Colin, right? I mosaicked out his last name, but can I get a reference check on this guy as a seller, please? Feel free to tag your previous buyers, right? This is somebody who wants to make a deal with Colin, but doesn't feel comfortable because he doesn't know anything about Colin, and he doesn't want to go send him $300 or $400 for silver he may never get without a reference. So do your homework. Some pros and cons. I thought it would be good to list these out for you guys. So some of the pros, you're not going to pay fees like you would on eBay. eBay today, if you're a seller, you're going to spend 15% selling on eBay. On these forums, there is no fee to sell your silver. It is a private sale. It is a private transaction. There's typically low to no premiums on the constitutional silver. So on the junk silver forum, they're pretty low. 20 cents per ounce over, maybe $1 over. Sometimes you can get it at spot. So really low to no premiums. On stuff like Silver Eagles, you're always going to pay a premium. It'll just be less in these forums. No taxes. Now, I'm not a tax person. I'm not a financial advisor. So I'm saying no taxes because in the sale itself, you are not going to pay any taxes. PayPal's not collecting any. Your state's not collecting any. This is a private sale, right? Can the government go dig this up? I don't know, maybe. But this isn't like going to the store and buying something. There's not a tax record here. So that's why I point this out. Then I put flexible payments in question marks because most sellers take most online payment forms. And most of us today are comfortable using a Venmo or a Zelle or a PayPal. I haven't seen anybody taking Bitcoin. So that's why it's kind of a pro. It's allowing you to use payments you're used to dealing with, right? Over on the con side, it is a private sale and it is online. So scams can happen, right? I have talked to somebody who did get scammed. I actually bought some silver from a guy who got scammed. So they do happen and you need to be careful. If things go wrong, there's a little recourse. That PayPal goods and services, it may cover you. I don't know. I've not done it. Supposedly it's supposed to, but I don't know. I have no experience with it. Condition of the coins are not guaranteed. Somebody may say, hey, I've got, a roll of Kennedy half dollars here that are 90%. And some of them are BU. Well, what does that really mean? You can look at the pictures. Sometimes from a picture, it's tough to tell condition. Some may be one, some may be half the roll. Some may be the whole roll. You just don't know. You're really trusting the seller to take good pictures and to be honest about the grading if you care about such things. For constitutional silver, I think condition is a plus for when I buy silver on these forums. I added flexible payments here as a con. So if you're a big Bitcoin person, I haven't seen Bitcoin on here. If you don't have a PayPal account or Venmo or don't like using Zelle, you're kind of screwed, right? There's not a lot of options for you if you don't like these online forms of payment. And then the last thing is shipping costs. Most of your online bullion dealers, once you spend about $100, you get free shipping. On these forums, there's almost always a $4 to $8 shipping charge. Some post shipping is included, but you can always count on there being a little bit of money for the shipping, and it's usually not exorbitant. I mean, $4, $5 is pretty typical, and to ship a small package tracked, it costs about $4 or $5, right? So I don't think people are doing eBay kind of deals where you're buying a $10 item and getting charged $10 for shipping, right? You don't see a lot of that on these forums. So I just wanted to point that out, that you do have to factor that into your costs. I kind of ignore it because I figure shipping is just sort of, a part of life. And when I store away my silver, I don't always add that shipping cost into my journal to go, ooh, really, I spent an extra 20 cents per ounce on the silver because of shipping. I probably should, but I don't. So I guess that's a long way to get to. These are the two forums that I like. There's lots of them out there. If you're part of other Facebook forums or Facebook groups and you've had some great experiences, I would love to hear about them down in the comments. I'd love to join them myself. I'm always looking for places to find good people to work with to buy good silver at good prices. So I'm sharing these because I've had success and I like these. Like I said, if you've got some, please do, man. Share them. I'd love to see them. I'd love the community to see them. So anyway, with that, I do want to say, if you like this video, if you like this channel, please do give the video a like. Please give me a subscribe. Please share this video with your friends. Throw it on Facebook. Throw it on Instagram. Wherever you can post it out there. All the help I can, I'd appreciate all the help I can get. I'm still trying to raise my subscriber count. It's been stuck here in the high 280s for some time, but I really appreciate you guys coming to the channel. I really appreciate you checking out the videos. I love getting comments. I love the interaction. So please do leave me a comment down below. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's anything I covered too quickly or you'd like me to dig in deeper, shoot me a comment, shoot me an email. It's down in the description. I'm happy to help out, man. I'm a big fan of collecting silver. I'm a much slower stacker than a lot of other YouTube stackers, but I do spend a lot of time researching before I do make purchases. So I like to think I make sound judgment purchases. So anyway, with that, I'll shut up. I hope you enjoyed the video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye now.